and went into the Siegfried Line, and that was a hell of a battle there. 82nd guys told us that that was the worst battle they had ever been in on the Siegfried Line. And you know, when you stop to consider all these blockhouses they had there were anywhere from about 3 feet wide, thick with concrete, top and sides, all the way up to 8 feet. And those things were hard to crack. And if you couldn't get around into the embrasure where their gun was sticking out, why, you had to attack with infantry. That was the only other way you could do it. Well, the infantry would throw satchel charges in, and sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, or they'd throw hand grenades. And the Germans just wouldn't surrender very easily. So finally they found that they could throw hand grenades into the chimney off them, and it would blow up inside, and that would kill them off. And also they found out if they had a tank dozer, they could push dirt up the back of the bunker, and that would close the door so they couldn't get out. So they either had a chance to get out before, or they could be left there to die. And a lot of them were left there to die in those bunkers. But the trouble was, not only was the bunker sitting here, but then you had another bunker over here, another one over here, guarding this one. Therefore, the one that was over here had another one over here on his sides, and they were guarding him. So that's the kind of thing it was. It cuts back and forth, continual. We would fire the assault guns directly at the embrasures, and many times we could knock them out, but sometimes there was too much concrete. You just could not blow them out. So it turned out to be a hell of a sharp fight. They reassigned us to the 8th Infantry Division, and we had to go down to the town of Duran, which was on the Ruhr River, R-O-E-R, as opposed to R-U-H-R, but pronounced the same way. And it was in floodplain because the Germans had captured a dam upriver, and they had blown up the work so that they couldn't turn the water off. So all this water was coming down, and it was 2 miles across this floodplain. The infantry finally got across on some light bridges that they could just walk through, but they couldn't get any tanks over there. So we sat there for 2 weeks shooting back and forth into the town of Durant, and that Germans were shooting back at us. So we shoot and scoot. That's what we did. And I guess that's what they were doing too. But anyway, we finally got across. They built a bridge, and we could get our tanks across. And Durand was just flatter than this floor. It was a maze. I mean, I had never seen a town really flattened until we got there, but it was really down. But anyway, we had a hell of a battle across the Cologne plain from there on, Durand to Cologne. A lot of little villages that are now one great big megalopolis with Cologne. But at that time, there was just one village just like that all the way across there, all the way into Cologne. Plus, there was a Wurft canal there that we had to get across, and that was a hell of a fight, too. But anyway, we went into Cologne, and we took the south end of Cologne. And the 82nd, and next to us was the 3rd Armored, and I think the 82nd was above them. And then I don't remember who was above them. But anyway, they got to go right through the center of town, but we were right on the south side of it. And when we got through there, they told us to pull back, go into France on flatbeds with all of our tracked vehicles, take them around Verdun and into the area of Saarbrücken, Germany. Saarbrücken was under the 7th Army, and so we were supposed to take the 70th Division across the Siegfried Line again, and we didn't look forward to that. But anyway, we got there, and the 70th had already made it across. So the next division south was the 63rd. So they said, well, go down there and help them get across. So we did that. And then after we got across there, we had to take a town of Homburg, H-O-M-B-U-R-G, as opposed to Hamburg. And Hamburg's a much smaller town. So we took that, and then they said, okay, go back, go up the Rhine River to the town of Bonn and cross the Rhine. So that's what we did. And we got across the Rhine, we went back up north, just across the Rhine River from Cologne, And then we went into this Ruhr Pocket battle. Ruhr Pocket battle was when we went in and made a great big sweeping curve, and all the other units were doing the same thing. So in effect, it was kind of like a ripple effect. We were here, another unit, the other unit here, another one like this, and we all just went around like that, captured thousands of German prisoners, just thousands of them. If you ever saw a sea of heads, that's exactly what there was. There were just thousands of Germans just standing there or laying down on the ground waiting to be told to do something. We ended up at Dusseldorf, and we lived at the Park Hotel, which is still there. It's now a Hilton, I believe, but it's called the Hilton Park Hotel. And we were there for 2 weeks. And we got the first time we got cleaned up since we started, and cleaned up our tanks, and got them all fixed up. So we figured we weren't through. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, they told us to go up to the town of Blakita, which is right on the Elbe River. And Blakita had one time had been a boat that ferried across there, but that wasn't good enough to get everything across that we needed. And the Elbe River was the dividing line between the Russians and us. We weren't supposed to cross, but we did. But anyway, that happened along the way, and then we came by, plus we were getting the 88s that were there to protect Berlin, and we were having to knock them out, and they were something else. They'd fire every round they have, and then they'd stick their hands up. Well, by that time, you were mad enough that you didn't care whether they had their hands up or not. Of course, April 30th, we found out that Hitler had shot himself and made us all happy. We ended up going on into the town of Schwerin, right on the Baltic, and there's a big lake there and a castle there, and that's where the war ended. And as far as happiness or anything, the war being over, everybody was just tired, and there might have been a few slaps on the back or handshakes, but nobody raised hell or anything. Nobody wanted to get drunk. They wanted to get some sleep and clean up and feel like a human being again.